Greetings students. Today we are going to learn about one of Switzerland's leading food and beverage company, Nestle. Most of us at least once must have heard the name of the company Nestle. Let us know this company in a much better way. Nestle SA is a Swiss multinational food and beverage company headquartered in Vevey, Switzerland. It is the largest food company in the world measured by revenues. Nestle's products include baby food, bottled water, breakfast cereals, coffee, confectionery, dairy products, ice cream, pet foods, and snacks. 29 of Nestle's brands have annual sales of over 1 billion Swiss francs, about $1.1 billion, including Nespresso, Nescafe, Kit Kat, Smarties, Nesquik, Stouffer's, Vittel, and Maggi. Nestle has around 450 factories, operates in 86 countries, and employs around 328,000 people. It is one of the main shareholders of L'Oreal, the world's largest cosmetic company. On 4th September 2013, software and search engine giant Google announced that they would be naming the next Android release version 4.4 after the ever popular chocolate wafer Kit Kat with Nestle legal permission. Nestle, confirming the team-up, announced the distribution of around 50 million Kit Kats worldwide, featuring the Android mascot in the covers. Nestle was formed in 1905 by the merger of the Anglo-Swiss Milk Company, established in 1866 by brothers George Page and Charles Page, and Farine Lactée Henry Nestle, founded in 1866 by Henry Nestle. The company grew significantly during the First World War and again following the Second World War, expanding its offerings beyond its early condensed milk and infant formula products. The company has made a number of corporate acquisitions, including Grasset and Blackwell in 1950, Findus in 1963, Libby's in 1971, Rowntree, Macintosh in 1988, and Gerber in 2007. Nestle has a primary listing on the SIX Swiss exchange and is a constituent of the Swiss Market Index. It has a secondary listing on Euronext. In 2011, Nestle was listed number 1 in the Fortune Global 500 as the world's most profitable corporation. With a market capitalization of $233 billion, Nestle ranked number 9 in the FT Global 500 2013. Nestle's origins date back to 1866, when two separate Swiss enterprises were founded that would later form the core of Nestle. In the succeeding decades, the two competing enterprises aggressively expanded their businesses throughout Europe and the United States. In August 1867, Charles, U.S. consul in Switzerland, and George Page, two brothers from Lee County, Illinois, USA, established the Anglo-Swiss Condensed Milk Company in Cham, Switzerland. Their first British operation was opened at Chippenham, Wiltshire in 1873. In September 1866, in Vevey, Henry Nestle developed a milk-based baby food and soon began marketing it. The following year saw Daniel Peter begin 7 years of work perfecting his invention, the milk chocolate manufacturing process. Nestle's was a crucial operation that Peter needed to solve the problem of removing all the water from the milk added to his chocolate and thus preventing the product from developing mildew. Henry Nestle retired in 1875, but the company under new ownership retained his name as Société Farine Lactée Henry Nestle. Nestle felt the effects of the Second World War immediately. Profits dropped from $20 million in 1938 to $6 million in 1939. Factories were established in developing countries, particularly in Latin America. In December 2005, Nestle bought the Greek company Delta Ice Cream for Euro 240 million. In January 2006, it took full ownership of Dreyer's, thus becoming the world's largest ice cream maker with a 17.5% market share. In November 2006, Nestle purchased the medical nutrition division of Novartis Pharmaceutical for $2.5 billion, also acquiring in 2007 the milk flavoring product known as Ovaltine. As of 28 May 2013, Nestle has announced that it will expand R&D in its research center in Singapore. With a primary focus on health and nutrition, Nestle is investing $4.3 million in Singapore center, creating 20 jobs for experts in related R&D fields. In 2013, Nestle, Nigeria successfully pioneered and implemented the use of compressed natural gas as a fuel source to power their Flourgate factory. Nestle has some 8,000 brands with a wide range of products across a number of markets including coffee, bottled water, milkshakes and other beverages, breakfast, cereals, infant foods, performance and healthcare nutrition seasoning, soups and sauces, frozen and refrigerated foods and pet food. As of year-end 2010, Nestle held 29.7% of the shares of L'Oreal, the world's largest company in cosmetic and beauty. Its brands including Garnier, Maybelline and Lancôme as well as the Body Shop stores. L'Oreal holds 10.41% of the shares of Sanofi Aventis, the world's number 3 and Europe's number 1 pharmaceutical company.
I'm Ed Wilson, I'm an electrical and mechanical apprentice at Nestle, and this is how to make it in industry. The scale of the operation here is absolutely massive. We're the only UK manufacturer of KitKat, and we also produce quite a lot for export to Europe. We produce over 120,000 tonnes of products here in the York site, and we make over 1 million KitKats a day. It is very important that the hygiene of the factory is spotless and clean at all times. This is because we're selling a product to a customer, so we want it to be as clean and as good to eat as we can make it. This is the beginning of KitKat. This is where all the raw ingredients used to make the chocolate in KitKat are brought in and processed. The ingredients come as far from the West Indies, the Ivory Coast and Scotland. They're all brought into this plant and processed into the chocolate that you get in your bar. At this stage in the process we're making the wafers for the KitKat. As you can see behind us we've got some of the largest ovens in the UK manufacturing the wafer sheets that we use in all varieties of KitKat that we make on site. This piece of equipment takes the plain wafer sheets, applies a layer of praline chocolate and then stacks them ready to be put into a KitKat. So the training that we receive on site is really good. As I say, we're working with experienced craftsmen. Obviously we're working with the EAL with our logbooks to make sure that we get the qualification at the end of the day, but Nestle do their very best to ensure that we meet the criteria and get our apprenticeship. I mean, our group HR director used to be an apprentice. So, as I say, if you can get to that level from being an apprentice, there is absolutely no boundaries as to how far you can get. At this stage of the process, we've got our mould, and the mould has been lined with the chocolate. The wafer's also been dropped into the mould. This is the sort of first phase of the process of making an actual KitKat bar. Down the line there, you can see just behind me there's an X-ray machine. What this does is it looks for to see if there are wafers being put into the mould. Obviously, if there isn't a wafer in there, it gets rejected further down the line. There is a lot of responsibility and there's a lot of trust, and it's very much, if you're willing to give that person the respect, they're more than willing to give that respect back to you. And it's a case of just getting on with people, getting on with the team. I say the better job that you do, the more interesting jobs they're likely to give you and the more involved you get. It's not every day everyone says, oh, I keep a KitKat plant going. Probably the best thing from a point of view of work is the fact that the quality of the training that you receive and the job that you do at the end of the day. But obviously we have over 14 apprentices at the York site, so there's obviously quite a good social scene between us. So you get the best of both worlds basically. You get to work and you also get to play, so yeah, fantastic. The machine you can see behind us is one of our wrapping machines. As you can see, the KitKats which are fed from the main line which come off the moulding plant, fed down the line and are wrapped ready to be put into boxes and then shipped out to the customer. If I'm a fitter, I'd probably say a hammer is probably my favourite tool, but from an electrical point of view, you can't beat a nice terminal driver. Nice grip. Okay, now that the KitKat's been wrapped, it's put into boxes. These boxes are then fed down into this robot, which feeds them onto a pallet. This pallet's then wrapped in plastic and sent out to the warehouse before it's distributed to the customer. This is the product quality centre. This is where we test the quality of the products at the highest degree before we dispatch it to the customer. And this is the best part of the job. This is Nestle, and this is how we make it in industry.
The Laboratories Innov is a joint venture in nutritional cosmetic between Nestle and L'Oreal, while Galderma is a joint venture in dermatology with L'Oreal. Other joint ventures include cereal partners worldwide with General Mills, beverage partners worldwide with the Coca-Cola Company, Lactulus Nestle produced France with Lactulus 40% by 60%. Nestle Colgate Palmolive with Colgate Palmolive 50% by 50%. Nestle Indofood Citarasa Indonesia with Indofood 50% by 50%. Dairy Partners Americas DPA with Fonterra 50% by 50%. Nestle Snow with Snow brand milk products 50% by 50%. Nestle Modella with Grupo Modella. In Canada, the Competition Bureau raided the offices of Nestle Canada along with those of Hershey Canada Incorporation and Mars Canada Incorporation in 2007 to investigate the matter of price fixing of chocolates. It is alleged that executives with Nestle, the maker of Kit Kat, Coffee Crisp and Big Turk, colluded with competitors in Canada to inflate prices. The Bureau alleged that competitors' executives met in restaurants, coffee shops and at conventions, and that Nestle Canada CEO Robert Leonidas once handed a competitor an envelope stuffed with his company's pricing information, saying, "I want you to hear it from the top. I take my pricing seriously." Nestle and the other companies were subject to class action lawsuit for price fixing after the raids were made public in 2007. Nestle settled for $9 million without admitting liability, subject to court approval in the new year. A massive class action lawsuit continues in the United States. Nestle CEO Robert Leonidas is under threat of a criminal charge for his role in the price fixing of chocolates in Canada when he was at the helm of Nestle Canada from 2006 to 10. So students, we went through the company's history to its present market scenario. Hope you must have got useful information about the company. Have a nice day ahead. Goodbye.